Okay, so this video is going to look at the first problem that you need to do um, on activity 5 on this particular set of problems, okay? So this is some data from a study studying the effect of a single 600 milligram dose of absorbic acid, which is vitamin C, versus a sugar placebo on the muscular endurance as measured by repetitive grip strength trials of 15 male volunteers, 19 to 23 years old, was evaluated. We get some other information that's not important. So a placebo is just they got a pill that was just sugar, but they didn't know whether they were getting this or this. It's kind of like a blind test. Um, so your goal here is to determine if there's a difference between a single dose of absorbic acid and the maximal grip strength um, versus the placebo group. Okay, so we're looking: is there a difference between the vitamin C and the placebo, or does vitamin C give a stronger grip strength? Okay, so the first thing is the null and the alternative hypothesis. Okay, and these are always set up is like there is no statistical significant difference between grip strength between the placebo group and the absorbic group. Um, So that's always H, the null hypothesis, no statistically significant difference. Okay. HA is there is a statistically significant difference between those. Okay. Um, so the fact that it asks for difference, and we got two groups, suggests that on here we're looking for differences. Okay. So we're into these areas. Now we have placebo and we have vitamin C. So it's two groups. So now we're between these. We're going to go t-test. I know we don't quite have 20, but it's close enough for IB biology. Okay. So then the thing now is to sort all this data out. Okay. I've written my null hypothesis. I've justified my t-test. We have 10 or more data points, right? Which is fine for IB. And we're looking at two different sets of data. So we're looking for differences, not correlations, is the key point that leads us towards a t-test. Okay, now we got to figure out, is this data significant or not? Now notice it's all kind of mixed up. So here's what I'm going to do. It's a nice little hack here. Highlight those, and I'm going to hit this button that says create a filter. So it's going to create a filter. So I can organize this by high to low, which I don't really want to do for this, or I can organize it alphabetically here, which will watch what happens. Boom, it puts all of these together and then all of these together. We don't care about the subject person. We're just comparing the placebo to the vitamin groups. All right, so we have this done. Now we need to basically calculate a p-value for our t-test. So we go back, we're going to use the t-test. So we go back here, we make a copy of the stats spreadsheet, and here we go. So we want t-test down here at the bottom. So there we are. And again, we're only going to put stuff in the green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all the placebo. Okay, copy that. I'm going to hit Command Shift V. Oops, sorry, that's not what you're supposed to do. Right there, Command Shift V. I'm going to put those values in there, and then I'm going to copy the vitamin group and put those in there also. So I'm going to put those there, and it's done all the calculations for me. Right, this is, you don't understand how great this is. And it gives me the critical values at p equals 0.5 and p equals 0.01. For biology, this is the one we really care about, okay? This one makes it even more significant, but notice in our case, our t value here is 0. So our t value equals 0.550. And the p value is equal to 2.048, I believe. Let me double check that. At p equals 0.5. So because this value because this value is higher than the t-value, we accept the null hypothesis. Okay. And the null hypothesis, there is no statistically significant difference between the grip strength between the placebo group and the absorbic acid group. Basically, what that means is there's no statistically significant difference between those. So taking a sugar pill versus taking absorbic acid makes no difference. Right? It's not significant. Okay. If this t-value was, and I'm just going to say just for kicks, was 0.45, if that was our t-value, that would be much higher than, if that was our t-value, that would be much higher than our p-value, and therefore we would call it significant. But because it's below it, we say that it's not significant. Okay. So what you're going to do for the next ones is the same idea here. So figure out from the instructions what they want to do, punch in the data, see what you get. Same for the head measurements here, and for the US population here. Okay. So just work through these questions. You can put the answers right out on here. You don't need to show your work or anything. And then this is what you will submit in for activity 5. Okay. Thank you.